So anybody else, what's kind of in your being on all 5 levels of what we've just talked about? And is there anything that you want to ask or add or talk about, go deeper into? Your engagement helps because the conversation moves forward, and I'm a little bit like a instinctual animal. I need the stimuli to respond. So please fire my brain into a direction.
Okay, I can ask a question.
Please do.
So my question was a little bit along the lines of Lorenia, that we are present to something, but we are also the presence comes from a part of us. So I'm curious about these 5 levels, if they can be present to different things. So if you said your mental, you said you mentally, I'm focused about saying the next thing, and if you get me, but emotionally you could be present to something else, right? So they don't have to be aligned
No,
necessarily.
no, no. But what's the deeper question than that? Like, what is the reason for that question? So I'm just gonna, okay, so just put a pause. The reason I'm asking that is because I'm drilling into your mental state.
Mm-hmm.
I'm connecting to your, on the mental level right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I can see that there is something that's really not fully present. You're
Mm-hmm.
present to something, but from your sharing, it left me a little bit incomplete on a mental level. And so this is why I'm asking you a second question to go deeper into, because so this is what we do. This is being present. I want to become present to you fully,
Mm-hmm.
and I wasn't yet. So then I'm asking you a question to go deeper until we get to the like a rock bottom, like a base level of the,
Mm-hmm.
the root of what you're actually asking.
Mm-hmm.
So what is it?
Yes. And what you just described here is kind of the picture of it, because I think my wondering is that I kind of have an aim to when I when I aim for being present with someone, I would like it to be on all levels in a sense. So how will I notice if there's like
Aha.
the noticing and the, because I've tried different depths of presence,
Yeah.
and I know which one I prefer, but I know it's not always there also. So there's something about the aiming of being present to the same thing from all 5 levels.
I mean, actually, it's more than 5 levels. It's
Mm.
totality. If you know, if we think that we are rainbow, we as humans, I mean, we are infinite. And so this is actually a great point because presence is infinite. I will never be 100% present. They'll be
Mm.
so arrogant if I said I'm present. Ooh, ego, look at me. So it's like, I call it a spiritual gym. So I kind of start lifting weights in this spiritual gym and I start getting deeper in being present to all these different levels, and then more levels, and then more levels, and then more levels. And then, for example, I get triggered, or I'm sleepy, or I deeply think about something or feel something, and I'm not really present to you because I'm present to something else. So can you see this presence is like we can almost, not almost, we can definitely see it as an art. This is not, there is science to it, but it's an art because it's a never finished picture. It's ever changing, always moving. It's like water. It's like these colors of the rainbows, like 1 minute they're here, then they're not here, then like how deeper, then you see like really bright red, and then it goes into like disappears. You see what I mean? So this presence is really, so it's a beautiful practice of being present to start with the breath, because breath brings me to here and now. Just feel my breath. Don't need to do anything. This is not a breath work. This is not a breathing exercise. It's just me noticing that I'm breathing. So if I'm in my head or if I'm in emotion, if I'm somewhere, God knows where, as soon as I start focusing on the breath, it's like, zoop, I'm here. I'm in the body. And so when I get into the body, then I need to put a finger on a pulse. And this is the spiritual gym. What do I feel in my body? Like right now, my feet are hurting because I did this amazing canyoning today. We walked for hours through water and jumping and climbing, so they're hurting. I have an itch on my muscle here. My right thumb is hurting from holding a computer in the place, and the rest is okay. I can say this is my physical. I put a finger on a pulse, that's how I feel there. Emotionally, I'm calm. There is little excitement, but actually I'm calm. Mentally, I guess I would say I'm the most engaged right now because I'm holding this thing and I want to make sure that I say everything I need to say and deliver it in a right way. Energetically, honestly, I feel charged, a little confused, and actually in my solar plexus disconnected a little bit as well. Spiritually, if I'm honest, I don't know how connected I am right now because I'm mostly in a mental level with you. So I need to do this. My master does it 24/7, non-stop. This practice of being present to what really is going on in my system right now. Because it's from that place, only when I clock myself, like put a finger on the pulse on the whole system, I can then engage with you and know instantaneously. So I'm present to all of my being, instantaneously I'm present to all of your being. And I can read you instantly. I don't need to connect. This is not like a cognitive process, and now I'm going to put a finger on pulse, and now, no, it just happens. You instant. So it is like soup. I'm cooking the soup of presence. And if I'm connected to mine, when I look at you, when I connect with you, don't have to look at it, when I connect with you, I immediately start connecting and reading you because we are one. So if I see it like this, then there is no end to being present, and I can always be more present to one thing or the other thing. I can always practice more. So does that answer your question, or does it confuse you even deeper?
No, it's very enriching. So it added depth. Yeah.
Okay, so what else is not clear?
Mm. Mm. Yeah, so I think I'm curious about how what I'm present to and my noticing of
Let's do
of
it.
my presence links or not links to the presence with the big P. So I'm curious to hear more about the
Big
big
piece.
P. Did you say you said heard you say presence like presence capital?
Oh, the presence.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's leave that beast for now. Let's stay human for a second, because that's not human. That's
Mm.
but let's stay with like, let's clear the humanity first, and then we're gonna move into the upstairs.
Mm.
So, but yeah, it's a good ponder. Like, how closely am I connected? Like, there's another element to working with the presence, at least for me. So we all have these moments in our lives when epiphany, or like this super deep moment, that something that happens, and you find yourself in like the deepest place you've ever been. It can be through a shock, it can be through intense experience, it can just happen spontaneously, but we all have them. And so I use those moments as calibrating my depth, because and this is where I can be honest and say, right this second, right this minute, I'm not very spiritually connected, because part of my brain remembers when I was, and it's a very different state to where I'm right now. So having those experiences that calibrate me help me to put a finger on a pulse and to know where I'm at. And then I meet a master, and then I feel this big, like tiny little nothing, in terms of presence. So that's a big calibration, kind of like a bar goes super high. And then I meet someone who is like, and then I think, okay, well, I guess I'm a little bit more present than that person in this moment. So it's useful to have, it's not like a judgmental, it's not even a hierarchy, but it's reality. I need to I need to be connected to what is and understanding what is not. So, and that's where honesty and I guess humbleness and yeah, just honesty really comes into play. Like, can I be really honest with myself and with everybody else, and admit where I'm at or where I'm not at? So all of those, like when this is what I mean when I keep doing it through years and decades now, there's like a big bank of experiences, colors within this soup of presence that I am. And because I have a finger on the pulse quite a lot, but arrogant as much as I can, then that gives me a reading. The reason I stopped is because I caught myself being arrogant. And I remember my teacher telling me once, Dan, you need to practice being present. She called it I am presence. You need to be in I am presence. Go and practice. So I went and practiced. I came back some hours and hours later. I did it. I did it. I was like, I got it. She was like, how long? I think I was there for at least 2 seconds. She just laughed. She said, Dan, this needs to be 24/7 every day for the rest of your life. Ha! So it's this, and then the question is, do I want to? Because that takes time and energy and dedication and effort. It's constant effort. Like I cannot be complacent and it's so easily to slip back into whatever. I just want to have an ice cream and think about nothing. So this is what I mean, that being present too has to be a lifestyle, has to be a constant practice. Because only through constant practice the bar gets higher and higher. And I guess I'm more and more useful to life. Because that's really it's where it's at the core. If I'm present to myself and my ego and just myself, I'm not very useful to life. To you, to my daughter, to my friends, to everybody in my life. So yeah, I'm gonna put a pause again. So let's hear it from you a little bit. What's brewing in your head? This is so loud. What's brewing? I'm gonna close the window. What's brewing in your head while I'm talking?
Um, I'm feeling agitated because this is feeling very heady to me.
Ah,
For me, when presence is inherently empty, and therefore logically, anything that one is present to is content. As long as one is present to any content, be it emotional, physical, spiritual, whatever, then one's attention is on some content other than emptiness. But presence
can you
is
describe emptiness? Like, can you quantify it a little bit? What do you
Yeah,
mean?
like to my limited experience of it is it's like space. It's empty until something pops out of it, whether that's an impulse to say something or to go to the toilet or to start a business or whatever it happens to be. And we're not trained as human beings to live in that empty space because we
So
always
can
follow
I just put a pause on that? Because what that sounds to me like, that you like being present to emptiness.
I've spent my life being present to external and internal stimuli, and it's got me absolutely nowhere.
Yeah.
And my definition of presence is the absence of that. It seems to me that I don't like the word ego. I use personality or identity, but it seems to
But
me
yeah,
that
yeah.
the structure of the personality is it needs that busyness of constantly being attentive to content because it continues the illusion of that it's an I that is alive and it's not an I, and therefore it desperately is looking for content, be it inside, outside, here, there. That's why we're so addicted to TV and for mobile phones and a lot of it. And it for me, presence is actually having the balls. Well, it's for the I to surrender to nothingness and just being content that at some point something's going to arise, and it may not be immediate and it may not be anything life shattering, but I think
You know, yeah.
true wisdom comes out of that emptiness, and I think all ego and nonsense comes out of being present too. So I think this is why there's an agitation in me, that for me going down the path of being present to this, I have no interest in it whatsoever. When I'm with people, I listen as best I can, and I find when there's something of importance that comes up, there is a natural attentiveness, an organic attentiveness that takes that moves towards it because there's something of value there. Whereas equally, when there is something that doesn't snack to me of value, there's almost a shutting down. It's just blah blah. It's just rubbish. So I'm just wondering whether um, how I suppose this takes me back to my original question. How does one train, if you like, or bypass the personality so that that
You
absence
cannot.
of being present. Well,
You
here's
cannot.
that's the burning question. You say it cannot, and others say it can. So no
Well,
disrespect,
let
I
me
take
let me
that as
let
an
me let me
opinion.
answer. Let me get into it a little bit.
Sure.
Thank you. This is fantastic. And so this is mastery of life. What is mastery of life? First of all, I need to master my humanity. I cannot bypass it. That's what I said. You cannot. You cannot bypass anything, because bypassing, at least in my definition of the word bypassing in my dictionary, is like putting under the carpet or not dealing with. Is this the same for you, or you have a different definition of bypassing? Are we talking about the same thing?
Um, I don't know. I'm just wondering whether a lot of the stuff that we perhaps feel we're bypassing is because it has no value.
Okay, I get it. So basically, it's like this. I'm in a business, if you like, of being fully human, understanding this machine that I am fully. That's my job, if you like, while I'm in this body. That's why I am in this body. That's why I was born in human body, to be human.
Mm.
There is also superhumanity, and we're going to get into it when we start talking about the presence with a capital P. But before I can actually even begin being present to the presence, which is removing myself, the Mataka personality, identity, ego to one side, and allowing the presence to actually occur in my being, before that can even begin to be my reality, I really need to know myself, my humanity, because I cannot bypass that. This is what I was meaning. I cannot pretend that my emotion, my mind, my energetics, and my physicality are not part of being human, because it just doesn't work like that. Simply, there is also karma. There are also relating relationships and my impact to the world. So I have a daughter. I'm sure you have friends and family, and you are alive. So if I want to be useful to life and effective as a human being, I need to be connected to my humanity and to their humanity. And that comes from practicing going to the spiritual gym and start lifting the weights on those 5 levels, 4 levels that I was talking about. The fifth one, the presence, we're going to talk in a minute. So this is the road, if you like, a roadmap of the mastery. I cannot become a master without being human first. And understanding my humanity is what I was describing, is actually being present to my humanity. This is not the end of the game by any stretch, but it's part of it. It's part of being human. Once I've had enough experiences, once I've lived at least most of my karma, once I've actually tested this, tried that, thought this, felt that, had this relationship, did that job, got bored with this, tried basically humanity in every single possible way, lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, then I get to the point that I guess you are now on, which is like, okay, I'm bored. I've tried it, I've done it, and there is something missing. This is not it. So what else is there? At that point, I start practicing and doing practices which put my personality, ego, self to one side and start allowing. Basically, it's a surrender work. Here we start talking about surrender. Surrendering myself, surrendering my will, surrendering my thinking, my feeling, my I. I think, I feel. Well, let's put that to one side and see what's left when that's done. And then we start entering into silence. Silence is the necessary environment for any spiritual connection in the first place. Without it, it just won't happen. Because if I'm busy thinking, like you said, you're kind of busy with TV, you're busy with like life, there is literally no space in your being to feel and to sense what there is deeper than that. So, but before we go into the presence, I really want to carry on kind of completing the subject of being present with others in the group, and let's see if there's anything else still kind of holding us back, and like, is there any weight within that arena, and then we move into working with the presence. So thank you for that, and we're gonna get to it in a few minutes. Anybody else? Where are we as a group on being present to the first 4 levels, if you like, the spiritual one we're gonna leave for now?
I think I just had a question or curiosity that came up with Martin, your sentence. I'm not sure if I got it right, but something about value. And I was curious. I think I heard you say that there was a shutting down when you felt the value wasn't there, and then a opening up to and being present when you felt there was value. And I just, I'm not sure if that's correct, but what is my question? Firstly, is that true? Did you say, is that what I heard you say, Martin?
Yes. And I think the only thing I would add to that is I think this word human is misunderstood because its actual meaning is divine mind. Hum meaning divine and mind, man, human from mana, mind. And I think that the all of the content that we're talking about and being present to is the personality. And I'm not saying you can deny that, but I think the whole point is here is for divine mind to realize itself. That's awakening, that's oneness. Then there is no me and you anymore. So we have to look, in my view, sorry, I don't mean to be argumentative. This is just what's coming through as feels
throw it
sure.
out on the table.
Okay, thanks for being open. It just strikes me that what we're not looking for me, the human, we're looking for me humana, which isn't even a me. It's divine mind, which is just energy. It is that presence. It is that all-knowing presence. It knows. It doesn't have to think. It's having an experience for sure. So I can feel and sense and smell and taste and wow, that's all great fun. But ultimately, it's experiencing itself as that knowing, having this experience in each individual. That's just what I'm feeling at the moment. That perhaps there is a mistakening of what we've become so identified with form, we think that's the human, but there is no form. This is just vibrating atoms. It's an illusion. There is no form. There's mass. The matter doesn't even exist. There's a massive vibrating atoms. Who's vibrating the atom? What's vibrating the atoms? One presence. Presence wants to realize itself. I think that's the purpose of us all being here.
Martin, I hear it, and I think you're a step ahead of us. Please, we'll talk about it.
Sure.
I fully agree with you. But
I don't want to interrupt your flow.
No. It's totally cool. It's totally cool. I love it. I love it. I love your passion. I love your understanding. It's all cool. What the link that it's missing there is that in order to get to the point which you're describing, I have to really know my humanity first, because I cannot move into spirituality. Like every master, I didn't meet many, but I can talk about my master. She's so human. She feels everything. Her thinking is incredibly sharp, incredibly present. She's so present to herself, her physicality, to like 100% at all times. Always. It's to the point that it drives me nuts sometimes how present she can be. And this is why she can be useful to others. This is why Buddha and Yeshua and all the masters can be present to normal people. This is why they can guide them towards the light, because they're so human. They're fully 100%, they worked through their humanity, 100%. There is nothing, no triggers, no issues unresolved, no stone unturned within the physicality. Within the physicality, I mean physical, emotional, mental, that's all physical level. So it takes practice. This takes lifetimes of spiritual gym. This is not a joke. This is deep work, and it's useful. And it's not all. It's just practicing the humanity. I totally agree with you. So let's put a pause again and see what Shalini, was there another question or for clarification of where we're at before the conversation can move on?
No, I feel like that now with the further discussion, it lands easier in my system, because I think for me there was a trigger in, firstly, I feel like value can be subjective. So if I'm feeling that someone is rising above needs a rising above for presence, then there is a non-honoring and acknowledging of what is here. And I guess my next question would have just been like, how often are you there then to bypass, like whatever word you want to use, but to not be present to, and to be in that state of awareness without a judgment of value and non-value. So I appreciate the coming back, from my experience anyway, to recognize that my presence to everything in my humanity and your humanity takes me to that next stage, I guess, of presence.
Okay, clear. Anybody else? Are there any other questions or comments or clarifications needed or anything before the conversation can move forward? Let's really clear this one.
I just want to say something. What came up for me is, I mean, if we talk about awareness, call it whatever you want, the source, God, whatever. I mean, my understanding, there is nothing that is not God. Everything is God's creation. We are this tree, this color, this plant, everything around me, So what my understanding is that the practice will be to appreciate everything, the joy in every single thing, without labeling it as good or bad, interesting, boring. So I guess that's my interest, is is that the right understanding? And then what is up, my path to have an experience of that, rather than just mentally understanding it. It's the experience of that, the feeling that everything that is a vibration, feeling the vibration as a creation of from God, from awareness. I hope that made sense.
It does, but I'm not hearing a direct question. Is there, or was
No, it wasn't a question. It was just to add to the conversation.
Got it. Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Please engage.
I have a new question, not for this, but I'm just very curious about the fourth level, the energetic level, how you train it.
Train it?
Yeah, the modalities.
Yeah. So many different ways. A very easy to reach is elements, 5 elements. So we start working with elemental kingdom and connecting and understanding and becoming. It's all about, presence is basically, by now we kind of get it, it's all about becoming present, being. So you need to become an element. So let's say you become element of earth. You go into nature, you observe it, you hold a rock, you put your feet into the soil, and you start understanding. And there are many practices, meditations, energetic meditations, working with dakinis or the shaktis of each element, really deeply going into connecting particularly with each element and spending time with it, to the point that you can become it, to the point that you can experientially, it's not knowing, or like reading about it and, oh yeah, now I know. No, you don't know it. You need to become it. You need to have the experience of becoming an element within your system, and then you can actually input it to others. So first I want to train to become earth, and then when I'm working with people, when I'm talking to people, when I'm in the situation in life which lacks earth, which is chaotic, which is emotional, which is fiery, and it needs calming down, it's just like structure, just like hold you, just like hold it. Then I need to project that element from my being into the space. So that's energetics. That's practicing the energetics. And so you do that with all 5 elements. And this is a lifelong practice. This is not something that's going to happen within 5 minutes by any stretch. So that's one way to work with the energetic side. The other one is to really do a ping pong, to start shifting energy within me, to become different beings. So we are energy. There's like Martin said, basically we're just energy. There's nothing, we're just energy. But that's a thought, oh, I'm energy. But can I actually tune into myself and become someone else literally become someone else, become a prostitute, become a murderer, become a saint, okay, saint, I hope, become angry, become happy, become sad, become your best friend, become your enemy, but really become it. Energetically, assume a different mantle, different robe, literally become something else. So this is an amazing, amazing energetic gym to start lifting weights, to start practicing all these different ways of being, and then shifting. How long does it take me? Can I do it in a millisecond, or does it take me, let's say I get angry, let's say something triggers me and I get fucking pissed off. How long will I be angry? An hour? A day? A week? Like keep rolling and rolling and rolling in anger? Can I actually become at peace? Because that's energetics. That's working with the energy. Another amazing, amazing, amazing way, and we're going to practice it in a minute, not a minute, but a little bit later, is to actually somebody remind me, please remind me to start practicing with the energy of emotion. Just for fun, we're going to do a meditation. So, because we are energy, emotion and thought, but in this case, emotion, before emotion becomes emotion, there is energy, prana, life force, that runs it, that becomes it, that is it. Without that prana, without that energy, there is no emotion. You understand? There has to be some kind of energy that becomes emotion. So before I start getting emotional, I need to start breathing out, connecting to the energy, the prana behind the emotion, not being emotional. This is no drama. There is no drama. There is no none of that. It's before that actually comes out of my system, catch myself feeling that literally through my body, energy of that emotion, and simply breathe it out before it becomes emotion. If I start getting really strong thoughts and like concept is like rising, in order for that thought to exist in the first place, it needs energy. It is energy. It's a thought energy. It's prana filtered through, not filtered, but tuned in to, everything is prana, okay? So Adi Shakti, or the raw Shakti, energy, mother, everything is made of it, her, and it has infinite color, infinite frequency. So thought has a frequency. And so again, before I start actually rolling in thinking, catch the energy of that thought. Feel the energy of that thought. Actually, internally, it has a weight. It moves. It has a substance. It's not just whatever. So this is another excellent way of practicing energetics. You get me? There are infinite ways of practicing it, but since we are energy, the only practice is really start observing yourself in every aspect of facet of your existence as energy. Catch yourself, catch your humanity, catch your physical body. Like, can you really feel the energy that runs it? Like, let's say you do this, and then I slow it down. Can I actually feel the energy that moves that muscle? In order for muscle to contract and to arm to come up, there is energy moving it. Well, can I actually feel it? What does it feel like? Where do I feel it? What color is it? What physical sensation do I sense within my system that enables that muscle, that fuels that muscle to do whoop? So that's another, this is on physical level that you can practice energetics. So energetics, since we are energy and there is only energy, there are endless ways and colors of practicing the energetics. Extremely rich field. And then, I mean, I kind of gave you subtleties, and like physical, this is Vipassana. For example, go and do Vipassana. So this is an excellent way to start observing your energy. Just don't move, physically don't move, and just look inside, feel, sense what's really like, what energy, what is it buzzy, is it zingy, is it slimy, is it wet, is it cold, is it hot, is it electricity, is like zzz, zzz, like, what is it? Like something, and it's always something because it's only energy. So when it comes to energetic level, endless lifetimes of playing with it. And then you come to, and this is where magic happens. This is how we shift realities. This is how we influence other people. We shift our energy, emotional, mental, energetics. We shift dynamically into people. So if I want to influence you right now, I can become so angry that in a moment you're gonna start feeling like, whoa, like there is anger. But you know this, like you walk into a space and you feel it, and then somebody comes in sad. Everybody feels it. It's like they're affecting the environment with their emotionality, with the energy of emotion. Everybody feels it. Somebody comes in angry, somebody comes in loving, everybody feels love. So this is another way of practicing the energetic gym, of affecting life, and in the context of the clients, because this is really to do with practicing with clients or people. We can do so much by influencing. Let me just let someone in. We can do so much by understanding what energy, what prana, what, I don't know what to call, what word to use, but basically life force, which part of life force is moving that particular part of me, and then consciously project it, shift it, move it. If somebody is sad, can I make him okay? If somebody is angry, can I calm him down? They don't know, people don't know what's happening. They just respond to the external stimuli because unless you become a conscious communicator and a conscious human being where you feel someone's affecting you, then you can kind of look at them and say, thank you, or don't do that, I can feel it. So this is the energetic. Does that give you an answer? Okay. Any more questions on those four? Anything? Okay, let's close the eyes for a minute. We're gonna do a short meditation. Just where you are, don't need to prepare or anything. Just, you can actually have your eyes open also, but just start feeling first your physical body. Just get it. Get the tensions, feel the cushion underneath you, feel the pressure of the clothes. The physicality will also ask you to get present to my voice or the sounds around you and within you, because this is physical vibration. So just get present to physical vibration, just right now. No need to change anything, just understand what's going on. How do you feel? Now, however you feel, and you are feeling something, you can feel calm, you can feel relaxed, you can feel whatever. There is energy behind that feeling. Sense it, connect to it. It will have a signature, it will have a texture, it will feel in a certain way within your body. Just feel it. Spend like 30 seconds doing that. Okay. Now take a look at your thoughts. What are you thinking? Are you agitated in your mind? Are you thinking or are you not thinking? Are you anything that runs in your head right now. Just look at it. Not changing, just get present to it. And then start looking at the energy that runs it, the energy that actually initiates it, the energy that is it, the energy that creates the thought. To help you a little bit, it'll be much finer than the emotional energy. It'll be more airy, if you like, more, subtler. Unless you're really, really thinking hard about something, then it can be intense. But normally it's quite light. I mean, the actual experience of the energy of thought. Okay. And now start putting all of that to one side. You have a physical, you have an emotional, you have a mental, and it's almost like compartmentalizing yourself to one side. I am presence is entering. I am presence is completely filling your physical structure, your skin, your muscle. I am presence. I am presence is divided into three things. I means God. Am means it is. It has a being. It exists. Presence. It is present right here, right now in my system. I am presence literally means God is present in me right here, right now. And just surrender, just relax, keep relaxing, keep breathing in your belly. Nice and soft, nothing doing, not trying. Totally loose and relaxed. I am presence is completely filling you. Entering every molecule, every atom of your being. The whole Merkaba, your DNA, is shining the energy of I am presence. God is present within you right now. I am presence. God is present in me, in every part of me. I'm nothing without God. I am presence. Soft and serene. Keep relaxing, keep letting go. Keep falling backwards. If you start thinking, let it go. If you start feeling, let it go. Keep falling backwards into the abyss, into nothing. Just keep relaxing and surrendering, letting go. Like a child in front of a big mama, innocently. Open eyes, asking to be held, to be fed, to be loved. I am presence. is completely feeling you, head to toe, right now. Gradually, slowly open your eyes and stay in that space. Just look at each other, being in this space. Don't have to do anything, don't have to go anywhere. Soft and surrendered. Internally, silently find a way to say thank you to our presence for feeling you. Just in the now. Innocently like a child. Give a hug to your mama. From the heart. Thank you. So the presence, there is no deepening it, it's already it. We are immersed in it, we are it, we are made from it. It cannot be deepened. So that part can only be allowed to fill us, to enter us, to infiltrate us. And the mechanism for that to happen, it's essentially extremely simple. It's just surrender yourself. What I mean by that is surrender I am thinking, I want, I know, I feel. Just put that to one side, because really, without it, that's what Martin was saying, is just humanity. It's kind of empty and boring. It's okay, but that's not it. It is the presence. So the way to work with it, at least in my understanding and my experience, there are many, many ways, but essentially it's entering the silence. And at the basic level, we practice 3 levels of silence. First level is physical silence. Let me just let someone in. First level is physical silence, which means I need to be able to sit in a position and not move. So I need to find a place, a physical place, where I can just be for like at least half an hour, 45 minutes, 1 hour, without moving a muscle, just being still. But so this we practice, this is a daily practice of looking for that place where I can just be with my physicality without needing to move. So that's what we call physical silence. Because from that place, I start observing, it's like a ground. Without that, if there is physical agitation and I keep shifting and moving, I don't give myself a necessary environment to actually even begin going higher in my connection to God, if you like. The next level of silence is going to be speech. So it's located in my throat area. Entering the silence of the speech is very simple. I start listening to noises and voices outside my body. So right now there's a kid screaming, there's all sorts of, there's a woman talking, there's a fan going, there's also voice of my own, noise of my own voice. So first I start listening to the outside sounds, then I start listening to the internal sounds of my heartbeat, of my breathing, of gurgling of my stomach, whatever it may be. And as I become present to the external and internal sounds, there's going to be a point of silence which starts expanding, and I just sit in it. It's almost like sitting in an empty cathedral or big massive church, where no matter how many sounds are within or without, I can just be silent. As I do this, my throat actually, I start feeling, sensing, like opening and expanding in my throat as a physical sensation, energetic sensation actually, both. So this also has to be practiced every day until the day I die. Then there is a mental silence. So it's looking at the pictures. Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot to say, the silence of the speech also includes my mind talking to me. If mind is going blah 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 blah, that's also sound. So that is in this area here. And then I move into the expansiveness of my mind. And I'm looking to place myself like between the stars, like in the middle of the universe, or like standing on top of the Himalayas, overlooking the whole world. There's so much space. It's just spaciousness, openness and spaciousness. So this also I need to practice every day for the rest of my life. So those three basic levels of silence are prerequisite, if you like, to even begin surrendering my ego. Because I need to be able to hear I'm presence. I need to be able to sense and see and feel and hear the voice, the experience of the other side. And so in every meditation, in every practice that we do, definitely every bodywork session or any other session that you do, whether it's talk therapy, whether it's massage, whether it's designing a flyer or whatever you do, this is the, if you like, the very effective place to put myself in, because I'm the most receptive to receiving the guidance, if you like, from above. I mean, there is no above, no below, but you know what I mean. It will come through the crown chakra. This, in that sense, is from above. And it's in this space of silence, on all three levels, that I can observe my clients, observe people in my life, observe my daughter, observe you right now. And allowing the mystery, this is the place where mystery can come through. This is the place, not a place, but this is the state that I need to be in if I want to allow the mystery to occur. This is not a space that I govern, because I is not present. I is to one side. I'm in there, Matuka, my thoughts, my feelings. This is all resting somewhere. And I need to do this ongoingly, like at first every second, because there'll be a thought, and there'll be a feeling, and then my body is gonna start aching. So I need to practice this a lot. I mean, this is lifetime practice, this is not a joke. To really get still to the point of actually being able to hear and transmit what comes from the field. And this is what Martin was saying, that in this space, and I practice this right now with you, there is only whatever, 10 of us here, 11. I also practice it in the training, so there is 40 people. Or I practice it when I stand in front of 100, 150 people, and I have no idea what I'm gonna say next. There is no plan, there is no schedule, there is no piece of paper which is gonna tell me what topic I should talk next. It's simply surrendering to the present moment and trusting that the next impulse will come. It will just come because it always does. But I need to practice this because ego is gonna start screaming. Ego is gonna freak out because it's not in control. You know, I need to know what I'm gonna say, otherwise I'm gonna look stupid. People are gonna laugh at me. You're gonna just log out and go because I'm boring, I'm wrong. All of that shit has to be, I have to be okay with it. And this is another spiritual gym, you know? Put yourself in a situation where, like in this state, with people in your life. And you can tell them, look, I'm practicing this new way of being. Can you please just bear with me and allow me courtesy of time to practice, or being in nothing, coming from nothing. Because in this space, everything can happen. This is the ultimate creative spectrum, because it's not governed by me, it's governed by it. Whatever that may be, my higher self, my guides, God, goddess, whatever. As long as it's not there, Matuka, me. I mean, it's also part of me, but I think you get it in the bigger picture involved. Now that's a little bit difficult because ego wants to govern the game. Ego wants to be the boss. Ego, I am, I'm everything. I'm the best. My life. I matter. I know how I want it. Well, what will happen if you don't? What will happen if you just for 5 minutes, just put it to one side, practice for 10 seconds. Just practice being in this, I have no idea what's next. So this is a good way to practice. There are many, many other practices. And if you come to the training in September, then we do many, many meditations, different practices, different tools for getting us into this space. And I mean, there are, at the physical level, there is also a body position that is very important, because it's not for no reason that when people meditate, they sit in a lotus and they put kind of one finger like this and they put the hands in a specific place and the spine is very straight. Because if I put myself in that position, the energy starts running on its own. So that's just how we're designed. So there are also laws that we need to follow. Now, we don't need to, but it's wise to follow them because things happen quicker. It's more efficient. So I'm going to put a pause and ask some questions, or ask 4 questions. What's going on inside you? Somebody? What was your experience? What is your experience of this last 10 minutes? Yes, please.
So thank you very much. Like, I really appreciated the practice. I could follow that in this moment, and I felt that I got it. I got there, no, in this connection, in this connectedness, and also from there I understand also that I got what I wanted from this talk, which is because I haven't taken any course with you, and I've been like in touch for years now, but I haven't been able to attend. And it is important for me to understand how do you experience, how do you work in yourself with presence, and how do you work with people, no? And in your practice. And I really like the way that you're working. I like hearing how you work with each level and what practices are you offering. Some of them are new for me, but I totally understand the practice, and I like it just as a way of practicing myself. And I will love I mean, I love the idea of having a community that is practicing together in this way. So, and I would love to go deeper into different ways, like the body and the energy and sexuality and all the areas that how we connect in the human, in our humanness. So thank you so much. Thank you very, very much.
You're very
It was
welcome.
rich, and I like it. Yeah.
You're
Thank you,
very
thank
welcome to come to Spain if you want. We can practice most of these things. I can't help you with sexuality because I've been celibate for the last 8 years, and I have no intention of stopping it. So on that level, we're not gonna practice. But
Okay. We'd love to learn about that. We'll be in touch. Thank you.
you're welcome. Anyone else? Perhaps somebody that hadn't spoken yet? What was your experience at the simplest level? Where are you right now? Okay, maybe somebody who has spoken already.
I just say it. I mean, it was a reminder, I guess. I mean, I, of course, have done that I am present meditation with you on the training, and I did it for some time after. I use I am presence in a giving a session. I'm saying it all the time. I'm presence. I'm presence. I'm presence. But what this experience of this meditation as a refresher is like, okay, I need to do that as a meditation as well, rather than just using it as an affirmation in a session. You know, it's like much more than just that. So yeah, thank you for the refresh.
This reminded me to say, I am presence. It's not a mantra, it's an invocation. The difference between mantra and invocation is mantra is key. It generates. Every time you say it, it generates energy. Every time you say it, it connects you to the particular frequency. And this is why we repeat it, to repeatedly connect and reconnect to that specific energy that it holds or it represents. The invocation is like saying hello or hi. So you don't say hi, 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 hi. That makes no sense. So I am presence. It literally invokes God is present, He has a being, it exists right here, right now. Basta. That's it. It's a statement, it's an invocation, it's a magical I become, I am presence. I surrender to I am presence. That's the invocation of this particular slogan. So I say it once, and then when my mind takes over, or I get back into game, then I need to help myself to let go again. And so I could say it, I'm present after some time again. But essentially, that's the difference between the mantra and the invocation. Martin, anything you want to add? Don't have to.
There's just 2 or 3 things that are working their way through me, and I'm not entirely clear yet. But I suppose the first thing that came up for me quite a little while back was that apparently I can't say this is true. Actually, Stuart will know a bit about the history of this. Apparently, a man abused me when I was very young. I worked with a seer in Italy, and I say apparently because I have no recollection whatsoever. But I am aware of a shutting down to feelings. And I don't want to go into a judgment of that, because I also believe that, like as Stuart alluded to earlier, that everything is divine intelligence. And therefore, if that was meant to happen, then clearly I was meant to, I say I,
Yeah.
this one was meant to develop a different experience of life that was not based on feelings. And that also brings up the question, to what extent have I taken refuge in thought and knowledge? And was that meant to be or not? I instinctively rail against, when I hear the word like I am, it doesn't make sense to me, because it should be I is. I am is coming from an identified state. There is no I. That's the illusion. It's just the program of the personality. I is presence. To me, I think when you said before that you say I am present, you have to keep saying it again and again and again. I've seen this myself. I think this is just my view, that we say it again and again and again because it never lasts. And it can't last, because it's like the identity is trying to make itself into presence. The identity can't be presence. The identity is just neural programs.
Yeah.
But I is presence. I feel that when I say that, I feel that in my body, in my being.
That's okay.
Because that's true. And that's taking the false I out of the equation and using actual wording. I is presence. Then there is no little I. There's just the I, which is presence. And to me, that's presence.
Well, for me, I had to, and I still do actually, take apart this statement, I am present, and really connect deeply to what it actually represents, what it means. And that's a process for me. So I is definitely not I. It's not a little I. This is God. I means God. So I could also say God is present in me right here, right now. I could say that. I could also say I am all that I am. It's also the same. So the word am, it means it has a being. It is. It has a substance. It exists. So is, you could also say I is present. That's no problem. But take apart the is, really go deeper into is, understanding what it means. It means it has a being. There's a isness to it. There is a definite being, reality. It's not like concept. It's not, And then presence. It's just being present right here, right now. So the slogan "I'm present" has I've been using it now for a while, and I still find deeper and deeper connection to what it actually represents, to help me get into that state.
Yeah. Listen, if we're all, I say we all, the wording is all wrong. We just, but this is what we're working with. But if that's your individual journey and it takes you to that place, then that's brilliant.
Exactly, that's what I say. If business is for you, do it, use it. It's good.
I don't know the answers. I just sent, again, it's this word God. It creates a separation in my mind. That's how I feel it. That like I'm trying to be present, or God's presence is here. that creates, to me, that reinforces the illusion of separation. If I take away the word God and I just replace it with knowing,
It's not
and for
big
me,
enough. It's not big enough.
well,
It would
for
be,
me, there's
could be, yeah,
okay,
could be. Yeah, you're right. You're right. It could be. It could be.
just well, okay. I don't want to get into like semantics, but
Let's not.
consciousness means with knowingness. Just means knowing. And to me, the way I'm working through it at the moment, so I'm not saying definitively this is right or it's wrong. I don't know. But to me, there is knowing and there's knowingness. It's a bit like there's sun and there's the rays of the sun. The rays of the sun are not the actual sun. They're the rays emanating from the sun, but they're not the actual sun. And I think there is knowing and there is knowingness. And I think what inverted commas we are is expressions of knowing, which is knowingness. So that knowingness exists as this form. It's knowing. The entire body is knowing. It's sensing. It's knowing, and occasionally that pure knowing will come through, which I would call wisdom. But there's no, to me, there's no separation to that, because if I use different terminology and I say you are God, it's like, oh my God, what are you talking about? The ego goes, I want to be big. I don't want to be that big. It's a confusion, and I think it's I followed somebody who wouldn't use the word God, and I understand why now. Because it creates the illusion of something out there. But if it's one and oneness, knowing and knowingness, to me that's more accurate. And at some point, that apparently perceived connect, we say, I want to connect with. You are that already. We just haven't realized it. There's nothing to connect with. There's only to realize. It's like the wave in the ocean. There's no, the wave doesn't have to connect with the ocean. It is the ocean. It just doesn't realize it. It thinks it's a separate wave. So the problem for me is languaging. And unfortunately, with most practices, it creates this illusion of separation. I just don't want to do anything that reinforces that.
Inspire you to go through the experience, to actually experience what you're talking about, rather than talking about. Because wait. Because talking about it again, it only stays in a cognitive arena.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
So I would suggest practice. Put yourself in certain practices and just practice, not understanding cognitively. Put it to one side, basically, like we did. Put it to one side and just go for the experience. I mean, for you would be maybe also useful to get into the energy of thought, because you have so much of it. It's strong. Your thought energy is super powerful. So sense it, feel it, before it becomes a thought, before you want to start conceptualizing. Like, take the energy of that concept, sense it through your body, feel it, like really observe it and look at it and breathe it out. I mean, like breathe it in, breathe it out, for the purpose for the purpose of actualizing the concepts, because concepts unactualized, they're just thoughts. They're just like clouds, come and go. They're not keyed in to the experience. So that's all I have to say.
I'm very grateful for that, and I hear you entirely. And the only thing the only question it begged for me was, because I was saying, why am I on this call? The word presence drew me in, but why am I actually here? And I know from when I met Stuart that we talked once or twice about this de-armoring thing. And the only time I've really had any what I would call deeply, deeply profound healing or connection with that part of me that was wounded came through a physical exercise. And I do wonder whether, for me, the wording doesn't do it, because as you say, it goes in, it goes so far, it goes down, it hits my energetic block, which is where my trauma is, and I bounce back up into my head, and I've become a genius at working it all out scientifically and intellectually, and I could write books about it, but it probably wouldn't help.
Yeah.
And I just wonder whether that whole experience that I need would come through actually doing physical de-armoring, because to my mind, that's going to take this part out of the equation.
Come to September. Come to September. Come to Spain. Come to the Deepen Your Presence training in Spain. Try.
No, I'll ponder that. It brings up a whole different set of questions, but they're not for you. So.
let's use this time to wrap this up. And if you want to get in touch personally, I'm super open to have a one-to-one conversation. Not now, but like, just call me.
Sure, thank you.
Yeah. So anybody else? I think we're kind of way over time here. So, well, not way, but I think we need to start wrapping this thing up. So, is there anything else that you want to say to be complete for this conversation and this process? or do you feel?
Well, yes, yeah. I'd like to just say, yeah, it's when you're there, you're on the screen. I'm getting. It's like you are a magnet for me. I'm not, and then you're bringing this transmission through your words, through your voice, through your experience. And when I'm doing it on my own, I'm not connecting. So you have a recording of your voice, and how does it work?
No, but this is presence. This is exactly it. This is the energetics that I was talking about. This is why I need a master. I need someone to realign me to the truth. And I feel we all do. But I can't tell you what you need, but I do. So I understand what you're saying. And
Yeah,
this is normal. It's
yeah,
because we are magnetic beings, we are electric beings. And actually, it's just magnetics and electricity that create the energetic, the feelings or the connection or the magnet.
yes, connection. And if I'm on my own, I'm just sort of like not connected.
Yeah. And this is why it's useful to go and sit with a master. This is why people go and sit vipassana, why they go to trainings, why they go to courses, because you can actually spend time attuning to, this is what's called transmission.
Yeah,
So to actually receive, to calibrate myself to something that I cannot do on my own.
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Well, thank you for the transmission.
You're very welcome. Come to September. You know. Then you have 7 days of this. Yeah. So any more for any more. I realize that half of the people left by now, so there is no point talking about the training. But I will send you an email, and I'll put a link to it, and I'll point to you to some YouTube videos that I did about the training. So let's use this remaining time to, I don't know if anybody else wants to say something for completion of this conversation and what happened today.
Just to say thank you.
You're welcome.
To just briefly share, I actually appreciated the ending there, because where normally I might have also, I felt like ejecting, because it felt like coming out of my body and going into my head. And I noticed an activation in that. And I chose to sit with it and then go into the energy beyond the judgments or thoughts that came up, and feel into it. And I remember I looked at the rain, and I could feel that there was still an awareness of the conversation happening, but I was still feeling very embodied. I could feel very connected to my external world. And then I noticed my ego come in and thought I was superior because I was beyond the conversation and the judgments and all this. And so it got in the way. So I guess I would just be curious for the next level of going into the energy of the thought, or that layer that you said, and then breathing through it. Like, I feel like I want to know more about that next layer of the energetics. So yeah, that would be my next longing for next time.
Just start doing it. I mean, you have this as a first experience. Just start spending time. For example, every time it's easier to start doing it with emotion because it's more coarse. It's like more physical, if you like. So just the next time any kind of emotion rises, literally anything, just like step behind, like literally just step behind the emotion. It would be like, the analogy would be, you are the theater, you are the stage, and you're the coulisse, the curtain, and you are the script, and you are the actress. And so the energy behind the emotion will be the energy that actress will run to the stage and do her drama. She will do whatever the emotion is. She will act it out. But what we do here is you actually observe the actress on the stage, like a producer or director from behind the curtain, and just look at her. Look at the energy that she's coming out with. Observe that energy. Literally, like somebody else is, like one part of you steps out from you're not the actress anymore, you step behind the curtain and you kind of peek through and observe the actress and how is she doing? What energy is she? No, she's not good. Yesterday she was better. Today she's a little bit like too much or something or less. What is it? What does it feel like? Literally like you're watching someone else's drama, like your friend has an emotion and you watch them, so it's not you. But this time don't connect to the emotion and like, yeah, you're right, yeah, I feel you, yeah, I get it. No. Like look at the energy of it. Like, is she real? Is she doing it well? Is she maybe too fiery? Is she too watery? Like what is the quality of that energy? So just start doing that like on daily basis. And that's already, you're gonna start meeting a lot of internal wowness. And then what you're gonna find is that you're not gonna have the need to, because the trick is first you observe the energy, but then you need to breathe it out. That's actually the point of observing it. The point of observation is so that instead of being sad, I start breathing in relaxation, peace, and breathing out sadness. Breathing in serenity, breathing out sadness. So you're replacing the energy of sadness by the energy of serenity or peace. If you're angry, again, peace. Let's just do that. Breathe in peace, breathe out anger. And you really, when you breathe it out, you need to experience both. You really need to feel the energy of peace when you breathe it in. So it's like there's two brains, there's two you. One is going to be focusing on breathing in and focusing on that energy, and the other one is going to be focusing on what you're breathing out. And so when you breathe it out, you really feel that like sharp, fast moving anger energy. Just let it go, that fire, just let it go, just dissipating. And then there's a pause in between the breath and in breath. You connect to the peace. Experience peace when you breathe in, then a little pause, then connect to anger again or sadness, whatever, and then breathe that out. So just keep on doing that, and it will change your experience of life very, very fast. So that's like something that you can do. All right. So anybody else? Thank you. Or shall we just say goodbye and go for now? Yep. You're still driving. You didn't have an accident. That's great. Well done. Very present. Yeah. All right. Well, dear people, unless you have anything else to say, I'm going to say thank you so much for your time and for your willingness to play this game. And I look forward to seeing you, talking to you, working with you, playing with you, whatever, at some other time. Yeah?
Thank you, Diane.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Ciao for now.